until I get a burn permit to do that.
And does it last for only so many days? Cause I need to like weed it out and then I'm just gonna weed burn. Like the
Technically, yes, you should have a burn permit for that.
okay.
And,
It's mainly just, I gotta kill the weeds.
and yes, we can set up dates.
Okay, cause it's more of a, when there's no wind, no nothing, and like it's ideals, that's
Well,
when.
there's a
Not
lot,
today.
there's a lot of rules to that.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay,
But yes, you can, you should have a permit to do that.
okay.
Because if you're out there burning and your neighbor calls that there's a fire and we all show up and don't have a permit,
You're in really big trouble.
that's not the good route.
Okay. And so I have the hose going and everything.
Now we all know.
Oh, I would too, well, cause I mean, I still have to clear them out. That's why I was here and I just did not got community gardens, but like, I've got the community gardens done. I haven't got my own done yet.
Right.
I'm gonna get them cleared out. And then I had such a massive issue with weeds this year because we had such a cool start to our summer. That my plants didn't want to grow, but the weeds loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just taking over my garden like crazy. And so there's a lot of spaces that I'm like, I couldn't pull the weeds because I was pulling the baby plants and I wasn't getting anything else. I was like, all right, fine. We'll see what it does at the end of it. And then once it's like it warmed up and the plants really start to come in through, but there's too many weed seeds in there, so I've got to go through and scrape it, and then I'm going to take the torch in there and just torch the seeds just to make sure that, I mean, we're not going to get, I won't get much fire, but it's mainly I'll be torching some of the dirt, just trying to make sure those seed heads don't come back.
Yeah. Gotcha. The giggling?
He turns red in the face. You're so red.
Oh my.
Call to order as a regular council meeting for the town of Evansville. I have roll call, please. Here.
Councilmember Candace Machado. Here. Councilmember Geisha Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Brad Lustig has to be excused tonight. Councilmember Phil Ricky.
Here.
Town Attorney Scott Murray.
Here.
Town Treasurer Lexi Erickson.
Here.
Chief of Police Mike Thompson.
Here.
Fire Chief Leo Malsa.
Here.
Public Works Director Robert Llewellyn.
Here.
Town Clerk Janelle Hunter.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
All motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Can't
Consent
help but
agenda.
giggle because he's giggling.
Approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of October 23, 2023. Approval of business license for Metflow Products LLC. Approval of the bills. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
All motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 2, ordinance number 6, 2023.
Mr. Mayor, council brought before you tonight is ordinance 6-2023. This is an ordinance granting a franchise to Quest Corporation DBA CenturyLink QC on behalf of itself and its operating affiliate CenturyLink to operate and maintain a telecommunications system, best system in the town of Evansville, Wyoming. And it's brought before you tonight on second reading.
Any questions about ordinance number 6, 2023?
Just one real quick one. I assume that they're gonna give us a copy of the insurance, correct? Since we're an additional insured.
I think we are.
Century, no.
What? I think it says in there that we are. Before we get to third reading, we probably need to check that.
look into that. We got one more reading. Do we-
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the second one.
Do you have a motion to approve ordinance number 6, 2023?
Move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Resolution
Can
number,
I just ask one more quick question? Where do the funds, the funds that we get from Century Link, where do those go to?
general fund.
It's a general fund?
All right, item number 3, resolution number 10, 2023.
Mr. Mayor and Council, before you tonight is Resolution 10, 2023. This is a resolution extending the hours of operation for the liquor licensees on December 31st, 2023 to January 1st, 2024. The New Year's Eve falls on Sunday this year, December 31st. And so they would have to close the establishments at midnight. And we're just asking or presenting a resolution to extend those hours to 2 a.m. that one day.
Any
Then
discussion?
everybody has to be out by 2:30, isn't that clear? Okay.
Discussion? Chief, do you have anything?
I was hoping some of the participants would be here tonight, but I'm gonna visit with one of them in person, our parking issue, other than that, I have no issues.
All right, there's no other discussion. Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 10, 2023?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Number 4, resolution 11, 2023.
Mr. Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is Resolution 11-2023. This is a resolution setting fees for document copying, research and/or retrieval policy for requests made pursuant to the Wyoming Public Records Act, Wyoming Statute 16-4-201, etc. This is a resolution that originally was put in place in 2016, and the fees were set at that time. And what we've done is gone in and increased those fees for staff as well as copying. And making copies of the CDs and stuff for the police department. So it's brought before you tonight for approval.
Question. So these fees match what is allowed by the state? Is that correct?
Well, state statute set fees for certain things, but
Yes.
not for everything.
Not for everything. I guess, like the sheriff's department, just if you want copies, maybe they charge you flat $5.
Is it per page though?
No, because I was just there.
Oh,
Have like 4 copies made, cost me $5.
Well, it's a different
I-
context too, so that's just a records request of a file versus the public records request, which people think of like a
okay,
FOIA request.
okay. And then I guess the other question I had was on the research. I guess I have a little trouble with, what if it takes 17 minutes instead of 15 minutes?
I was thinking, shouldn't that be an hour, like go over the hour rate up high, a little bit higher than that? Just because I felt like our prices were lower as it was, so I was thinking the hourly rate a little higher. Or maybe should it be minimum of an hour, and it doesn't matter if it's 12 minutes
That's my.
or 17 minutes,
And
you're
we
still
can-
at flat hour, you know what I mean?
Even if we don't do the 45, if we did 30 and then it's a flat $30 an hour or whatever, I don't know.
Oh, I was thinking like 50 or 65 an hour.
My God, you're tough.
Hey, it takes, people have to
I
sit
know,
there
I
and
know,
go.
I understand, no, I'm
So
just
they-
teasing. I'm
Oh,
just
they should
teasing.
be paid, well, they're, it's my thought. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm too high.
But
Post-COVID, everything's high.
But I guess my real reasoning is why do I get 15 minutes free when 17 minutes cost me X number of dollars? Why don't we have a minimum fee and then,
Well, I think the 15 minutes free is an important thing, that we're performing what we can for the citizens. So if it's a quick, easy thing, I don't think we should be charging the citizens for that record request, which I think is why we're sitting at that point.
but if we're doing, I guess my problem is if we're doing research, if we're just making a copy for somebody of something, that's different. But if we have to research it, then I think there should be a flat fee or a fee of some kind for that research.
And I can tell you that we have had request in the past, that takes a lot of time and research, pulling old records and stuff. And that's where that fee came in, because of the time that was involved with it, along with the copies.
And I
And the
do,
fee was set at $30. I believe it was $30,
so it is raising out of the hour.
just because wages have gone up.
Right.
Um,
But I do feel it's a quick, easy research, that's something we should.
Oh, I agree,
That's
I
what's
agree with that. I guess this is my thought, kind of like how the chief does with, if they stop somebody that, you know what, if it's something that takes me just a couple minutes, you can go, yeah, there's no charge for that today, but we do have the right to charge for it.
Correct, if it's
Just do it.
17 minutes, I mean,
But
that
that's,
extra 2 minutes could have very well been me going to the wrong file drawer.
and that was probably,
So,
but, you know, what if it's 25 minutes? You know, but I guess, excuse me. But I guess my thought is that if we just had a fee, like Deja was saying, of a fee per hour, and then if it's something that takes us 5-10 minutes or whatever, you know, you can just say, you know, don't worry about it. You know, whatever, I don't know. Doesn't have to be arbitrary.
I think that's where we are. We're right now, 15 minutes or less, there's no charge.
Okay.
Anything over 15 minutes is subject to the $45 an hour. If I'm reading that correctly.
So then that would be the same thing with what's being presented. Is if
Yes.
it's 15 minutes or less, it's free, and then if it's 15 minutes or longer, it's the $45 fee. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
and we're gonna let them know, you know, that this is something that may take 2 or 3 hours. And,
Okay.
you know, depending on what you're copying, you know,
That's-
this is the fee that you could be looking at.
Okay.
A lot of times, whomever is making the request withdraws that. And some of it may be that it's a request that they can easily access off of the website or something,
Right.
but they choose not to.
I
Because
get-
we have had that.
Yeah, my point is I guess I didn't want to have it become an issue between you and one of the citizens and stuff over a few minutes, one way or
Right.
the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, yeah, we will always provide that cost estimate up front. So that-
Yeah, as long as we're doing that, I'm fine with it then.
Any other discussion around Resolution 11, 2023? Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 11, 2023?
I motion.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 5, cancellation of the December 25th, 2023 council meeting. This year, our meeting in between December and New Year's is usually relatively rough to get in, so traditionally we have postponed that meeting, which is what this resolution is for. So, any discussion, thoughts? Nope. I have a motion to approve the cancellation of the December 25th, 2023 council. Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 6, approval of daycare license for monthly major child daycare.
Mr. Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is a childcare application for Wonderfully Made Childcare. This is a daycare that is in Evansville right now that is undergoing new ownership. It's brought before you tonight, approval contingent upon them passing their final inspections tomorrow with the Department of Family Services. And typically what happens is we approve the license contingent upon DFS approving the license. They approve the license contingent upon us. The only thing that I will note in the fire inspection was one area where they've got to work on, I believe, replacing the ceiling in the furnace room. And Leo has gave them until February of this year
Their annual, which will be at the end of January.
to get that issue fixed. So it's just brought before you tonight contingent upon them being approved by the Department of Family Services.
Any questions about the approval of the daycare license?
No, that was my question.
Do I have a motion to approve the daycare license on the contingency that they pass all their inspection.
I'll motion.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 7, the award of tractor bid. Robert.
Mayor, council, I'm here to go over the bids that we had received for the new Vector truck. Town of Evansville had received 2 bids. One was from Joe Johnson Equipment for $510,159. And the other one was from, I'm gonna butcher their name, unfortunately. Coitus. It's for Camel Mac Series, $528,214. I would suggest that we go with Joe Johnson's Vector 2100i for the $510,159.
And that is roughly 1.5% higher than we had originally planned.
Yes.
We approved 501. So this is $5,000.
I got a couple questions. And I'm kind of new to this, and I kind of walked in, and I think this might have been my first meeting and stuff, so I may ask some questions that about that time. Where are the funds coming from for this?
The funds have already been saved up. They're part of the enterprise fund, but they've been saved over the last 3 years.
Okay.
Paying for their already existing.
Okay.
So no budgetary impact.
And then what happens with the old truck?
That is something that we'll have to sit down and figure out. There have been discussions on whether we can sell it, donate it, or something along those lines. We'll have to wait to see what condition it is in when the time comes.
So when are we looking at delivery again? I think you said like a year before or something.
So the delivery date on the bid form for the 2100i is 5/1/26. And one of the reasons why they extended it so far was the contract wording made them a little nervous, and they didn't want to forfeit any fundings in the event that they were unable to make an 18-month delivery.
But they're anticipating.
Yeah, they're still anticipating an 18-month delivery.
Okay, and this is more like 30 months, right? Is that right?
Yes.
So are the truck gonna make it that long?
We will do our best. Push come to shove, we do have a pretty good working relationship with other municipalities in the area. I had to lean on the city of Casper a time or two before in the event that something had gone wrong. Luckily, we haven't had to do that very often, so I'm pretty sure they'd be happy to help us out if need be.
So
If I'm correct, both vehicles were about the same
are the two,
timelines.
yeah, they're both, was my next question. So the time, and are the vehicles similar? The two bids, are they similar?
They are similar.
Except for the money?
Yeah, for the most part, they're pretty similar in the way that they are presented. I mean, they've got various differences because the Vector didn't have a Packer body. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what a Packer body is. It's basically a plate inside the container that holds the refuse. And as you're working, you can compress
Oh, okay.
everything
Kind of like a
inside the
garbage
machine
truck.
to give yourself more room. The Vector 2100i does not come with that,
Okay,
and I would prefer it that way,
you prefer you didn't have it.
yes.
Why is that?
Space concerns,
Okay,
so you would limit 12-yard body into however much space that Packer body takes up, and breakdown concerns if something could get jammed up. It's similar to a garbage truck.
okay. And then you'll have to excuse my ignorance, but like when we get bills from like Rotor and all that stuff, does that truck gonna take care of some of that, or do we still have to do that?
That would be no. This truck is more designed for sewer mains. So
Okay.
this would maintain our sewer mains throughout town, manholes.
Okay,
We would also be able to start doing what they call a soft dig, which is using high pressured water with a vacuum on the front of the truck to remove
okay,
debris, so you can dig in a more efficient manner.
okay. Yeah, I read some of that stuff on there, yeah. Okay.
I have one question for you. So besides that one that one thing, does it have everything else on there that you want?
It has more than what I would
So
want.
you're content,
I'm
for
very
now.
content. Thank you.
okay?
Any other questions for back?
I think that this would be a good thing, especially since I know how hard the Public Works Department works in Evansville. I think this would make things more efficient and run smoothly, and your department wouldn't be running around as much as they are attempting to get things situated in this town. So if it makes it more efficient and it makes it run smoother, I think it would be a good thing moving forward.
It's been necessary for quite a while. The old truck's in bad shape, and I think it's the best course of action for the town, especially since they've been good stewards of the money and saving up the money to have a new piece of equipment that we can rely on, rather than taking our chances and rolling with another piece.
So I think, isn't the other one like 30 years old or something?
Yes, and it was already depreciated from one of the municipalities used when we bought it.
Okay, so it's a
And
little
not
older than I am.
impacting budget.
Correct. And
I
we saved
believe
the
it's a
money.
96.
The 96, yeah.
I think it's a great
Yep,
opportunity.
I'm good with it.
So I motion to approve the 510,000 for the back truck.
Okay, do I have
A
a second?
second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
I
Right.
Opposed? All right, motion passes.
Thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you, Robert. All right, item 8, council updates. I'll go ahead and get started. I got quite a few listed here. I'm sure as everybody saw, the project at Western and Yellowstone is complete. So that's been going on for 2 years. Good deal. Glad to see that thing move forward and get on to other items. We have 2 sidewalk projects that are currently out for bid. Hopefully we'll be seeing responses and be bringing contracts forward at the next meeting for those, as well as the Lathrop pathway is getting ready to go out for bid. So that's been moving right along. And then another one, very important one for the town is we're starting to work on the contract for the emergency connection to the Turner County Regional Water System. So that'll be a really good thing. So that one was a grant we received not too long ago, but getting that going, which will give us another avenue to provide clean water to the town. So another item up, I know Public Works has been out for several days over the past few weeks, filling potholes, getting things taken care of, which has been great. Really appreciate it. In an effort to reach out to our citizens, Public Works Department has suggested that we set up a new email address. Basically potholes@evansville-wi.gov, which will provide the citizens opportunity to report potholes they see so that we can get them on our list and make sure they're all being addressed. I have a couple other street projects we're starting to get moving forward with, so those will be coming here shortly. I think that's all I've got. Any other council updates we've got?
I got a few. Well, we were talking about the lights on the new light down there. I did talk to YDOT today, and they're gonna see about getting, if you are heading north on Walsh, there's no signs up above. Like the other 3 directions have a sign, left, right, set, go, but that one doesn't. They're on the ground, but it kind of snows here once in a while, so we can kind of get those covered up, but they're gonna check into that. The other thing is that they're going to take out the rest of the fence on the east side of Curtis. all the way to where the guardrails are. So and we'll go that far this fall and then possibly do the rest of it next year. But that'll give us a chance to see how that works out. But it does look, the part they have done looks awesome, so.
Yeah, it's great to be able to get a mower in there.
Yeah. And I do have a small list for the pothole thing if we are doing that, which is, I think would be awesome. Railroad crossing has got to be the most frustrating thing I've ever done in my life. But I'm working on it. I got a guy's phone number and I call him 3 times a day and eventually he will get it done just so I leave him alone. And so I'm still in hopes that we're gonna get this done before winter, but I'm continuing to work on that. And then for something in the future, this is something I think would be kind of cool, is on Veterans Drive where the park runs along there and we've got the little bridge and we've got the tree, there's some trees and stuff there. If we could find a way to fund it without spending city funds, maybe get some donations or something, I think it would be kind of cool to, like for the holiday seasons and stuff, to light that up. And also light down the walking path and stuff there. I mean, that's kind of a nice little area. A lot of people use it. It'd be really nice if we could do something there. I know we probably got a problem with no power there, but I got a couple ideas with that too. And one of them is I think that there's a electrical box there for the streetlights. That's right on the corner there of 6th and Veterans Drive. But anyway, might be something for in the future that it would just be kind of a nice thing to do.
I think Christmas lights wouldn't be all that big. Lighting the pathway will take some planning.
Yes, and it is something that we can do it hopefully in the future and just something to work on. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any other council updates? All right, public comments. Public comments this evening.
Hi, everybody. Just wanted to come up and talk about the garden. Really, I got the beds all taken care of and now they're, well, you can call it put to sleep or put to bed for winter. Everything's been cleared out and ready. We pulled the tomato cages. We left the big awning ones, our big metal ones. We don't think anybody's really gonna mess with those, or if they do, I mean, they're bear cats, so good luck. But we actually had even with the amount of vandalism and stealing and everything else, we still got a decent yield out of the stuff that was left alone. It did grow well and we had a good yield on that. So just really want to come up and say, even with the things that did happen, it still was a success. So with the new garden bed that we got quite a bit of, I mean, the difference in veggies, I mean, just going from such small boxes to massive boxes, that we got quite the extra yields of veggies, even with the vandalisms and things like that going through and people just breaking plants or taking plants and just all the other fun things that went along with it this summer. But I think next summer we are not going to be building even smaller boxes. We're going to get our irrigation systems figured out. We've struggled quite a bit with our irrigation heads, trying to find the right irrigation heads, because the ones that originally would work for it would ended up just flooding it too much. Then we tried other ones that we struggled a lot with the irrigation heads. So we're going to try to go this year with more of a drip system and see if we can get that to be better for our gardens in our bigger boxes. And I know originally we had it bitted out to do a fence around it, but really it's one of those, I don't think we need it. Originally we had that fence up just because we were doing that already with the little ones, but that's also because the garden beds are down here and every cat, dog, everything was in it. A lot of the dogs were in it, tearing it up. Rabbits were tearing it up, but with these other garden beds, they're this high. Cats don't seem to be messing with it as much, and rabbits are not in it. The deer kind of left it alone. Even if we did have a 4-foot fence, I mean, that wouldn't stop the deer anyways. So it slowed down the animals enough that I don't think we need to spend that cost, and we can save that maybe for next year's, not this coming year's fund, but the next one, upgrading those other smaller beds and then adding a couple others. That we can save that funding, because I know that fence was not cheap. So I think we could save that funding for another garden bed.
Well, I'm gonna say thank you very much for all your time and effort. I know it's a labor of love, but I've talked to dozens of citizens who pulled vegetables in
Yeah,
the garden this year. I think it was great. It's hard to find somebody who hasn't been touched by that garden.
yeah, it was really nice to see still, even with the vandalism going on, but even how much the community came out for it and was just like, well, let me pull my cameras, let me do this, let me do that, trying to figure out, or, hey, I'm gonna do an extra walk just to go down there, just to make sure that things aren't getting messed with. And I'm getting phone calls or messages, oh, hey, I see this or I see that. And I'm like, hey, unless they're bugging it, we want the kids to be down there. We want the kids to be down there enjoying and picking and enjoying the fruits and vegetables. As long as no one's destroying it, I want the kids down there. I had a lot of, especially the kids on my street coming down there and helping me getting those beds ready, pulling the weeds, especially in the little ones. I had a group of about 5 or 6 kids down there with me one night. We're all just taking care of the plants and checking on things. So, if you can start them young and teach them the importance of it, it will benefit them as they get older. They understand that, oh, this is here to benefit, not just to break things just because they can break things, but of just trying to teach them about it and the differences of plants.
Well, thank you very much for all your effort.
Absolutely. And so then next summer, obviously not doing the beds, but we'll be planting again. And so it sounds like maybe in January, February, we'll try to do some type of get together and see about buying more seeds and plants and that kind of stuff. I'm starting to touch that process. And there's been talk in the community of a gal reaching out and wanting to donate some trees, some fruit trees and stuff like that. I'm kind of figuring out where Robert's going to want to put those and see where that will come at. And that'll be sometime in January when we start those discussions.
Great. Sounds good.
So, anybody else have any questions about the garden?
I would just like to comment that it's really nice to see residents getting out there and volunteering their time for community activism and community events. I appreciate all the hard work that you have put into this and the countless hours that you put into weekly going down there to address the garden regularly.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's one of those, I love the gardening and that's something fun to do and it comes from the heart and it's really, it's not about the council, it's about the community and that's where it's one of those that the community will love it and that's what's awesome. And you get to really see the citizens go down there and benefit from it. But I ended up, when I was down there pulling weeds and everything else, I ended up pulling up a 4x4 section of potatoes that hadn't been touched. And so those went to a couple of my elderly neighbors that were in need of them. And so that was really cool that I just got to show up with big bags of potatoes being like, here, I found these in the community garden. They weren't picked yet. I didn't realize they were there anymore. So that was nice.
Great surprise.
Yeah, it was. It was a good surprise to be down there and roll the dirt and find a whole bunch of potatoes. So I was probably around 30 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in actually I think they were the potatoes that you were planted. It was in this little 3x4 section. I couldn't believe, they were big, massive potatoes too. I got some little ones, but there were some real big ones. So I was like, dang, these are nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Do you have any other public comments this evening? Public comments? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 7:30.
Signatures.